if you are trying to escape normality and you find yourself in this trap of a job that you don't like and you've watched all the YouTube videos and you're still not getting anywhere, well, this is the last video that you need. This video is for you. Part 1. The lie sold by society and modern marketing that has mentally trapped you. The most important thing that you need in order to escape this trap society has you in, the most important thing that you need is time. Time is the most important thing you need. If I was to illustrate it, it would look like this. Let's say here we have a graph, and on this vertical line here, it's going to be money, which is money you make, and down here it's going to be time. Now, most people, when they build their business, their line graph looks like this. It's going gradual, you're getting a few clients, you're making a little bit of money, and then boom, it shoots up. This point right here is where people are able to quit their 9-to-5 job and then put all of that time into their business. Let's say you're working 40 hours a week. Well, that's 40 hours a week on paper, but a 40-hour work week is really between 50 and 60. Why is that? Well, let's say you drive 30 minutes to work. That's an extra 5 hours every week. Let's say you wake up an hour early to go to work. Well, when you get up, what are you doing? You're thinking about work. You're thinking about the place that you don't want to fucking go and spend your time at. So that's taking up time. It's taking up mental energy. So we've just added 10 hours to this 40-hour work week just by driving to work in the amount of mental capacity that it's taking up. So this point right here, this point of growth, that's when people are able to quit their 9-to-5 job and then put this 50 to 60 hours a week they didn't have, all of it into their business. That's why there's a huge spike, because going back to the most important thing is your time. Now in this video, what I'm going to teach you is how to take this point and put it right here. So your graph is going to look more like this, and you see more success in a much quicker amount of time. So now that we understand the value and the importance of time, let's go over how society is really taking that away from you and the lie that they're giving you. So society is showing you this card, and on this card is a bunch of images of what society is telling you what success is. You know, the big house, the fast car, fancy restaurants, designer clothes, the new iPhone, whatever the fuck it is. Society is giving you these images and saying, if you have these things, it's going to mean that you're successful. So what do? You're working this job that you don't like and you're not happy. So you think, man, if I could just get a few of these things, I would be successful and I'd be happy. So then what do? You buy the new iPhone, buy the new BMW. You buy a watch, you buy designer clothes, you buy all this stuff that you think is going to make you happy and take you closer to success. But what is it actually doing? What it's actually doing is it's putting you in debt. And then how are you paying for that debt? Well, at this 50 to 60 hour a week job that you hate, now you're inevitably going to have to go there in order to pay these things off. And you're losing all of your time. So that's the lie that society is giving you, and most of you are buying it, literally. Part 2, action. How to navigate the rules of society to escape normality. So in order to escape this trap, this cyclical trap that 90% of people find themselves in, which is believing a lie, buying stuff you don't need, and then being stuck at the job that takes all your time, how to escape that, you really need to understand two things. These are very important. You need to take a good hard look at your addictions, and I'll just get into that really quick. So let's just say that your brain has two parts, has two sides. There is you, and the you part of your brain is the logical one. This is who you actually are. This is your actual goals and your dreams in your head. Hey, I want to sell a movie to Netflix one day. This, whatever it is. This is what you're thinking when you're working at that job that you hate. You're thinking about your goals. And you're like, man, if I wasn't here right now, if I was at home, I'd be getting all the shit done that's really important to me. And then the other side of your brain is your animal side. And your animal side of your brain, it doesn't care about any of your goals. It doesn't even know your goals exist. All this side of your brain cares about is pleasure. That's it. It only cares about pleasure. This is a side of your brain that, after you come home from your job and you're telling yourself you're going to work on your goals and your dreams, you just end up watching YouTube for 5 fucking hours. Why? It's because when you watch social media or YouTube, or you eat a bunch of sugar, or you drink alcohol, or whatever you're doing, you're getting a little bit of dopamine release in your brain. And when you get that dopamine release in your brain, that's all the animal side of your brain cares about. And the animal side of your brain has so much more willpower than the you side. I could watch YouTube for a week straight, no problem. Sometimes it's hard to get 30 minutes of work done. It's because this animal side of your brain has a lot of power over the direction of your life. So what do? Take a good hard look at your life and figure out what your addictions are, and then cut them out. If you're spending more than an hour a day watching YouTube, you have an addiction. You need to cut it out. And what's going to happen is, by cutting out these addictions, you are becoming more aware, and you're becoming more used to delayed gratification. For thousands of years, all people did was chop firewood and skin elk till they were 20 in order to build a house so they could have sex for the first time. So what happens is, when you get rid of your addictions and you start limiting the pleasure of your life, this side of your brain depletes a little bit, and then this side of your brain gets a little bit stronger. And this is very important. You have to do this, because if you don't, it just means that you're going to be stuck at the job paying for all the shit that you didn't need, because you're not making any change. So it goes back to the most important thing again. You are losing your time. So the second important thing that you need to do to escape this trap is you need to look at your expenses. What are you paying for that you really don't need? And I'm not just talking about fast food and designer clothes and all those other things. I'm talking about your whole existence, the way that you're living. I mean, think about it this way. If you're watching, probably most people are spending, $1,500 a month on an apartment. But I would say to you, how much square footage are you actually using? Do you have a room that you never use? Do you have a bathroom that you just don't use too often? Do you have cabinets? Do you have a closet? Do you have space that you don't need? Because essentially all you need is one bedroom, one bathroom, and one stove to cook on. That's all you need. And you gotta live like a fucking prisoner for a little bit. And I'll also say this: if you're not comfortable with living with those things, you are not comfortable being successful, especially if you are already in the trap. Because it means you have to limit things down to increase your time. I'm about to show you this, but you can get all of these things for $250 a month. How? A camper. A camper has all of these things that you can lease for $250 a month. So if you can get these things for $250 a month, and let's just be conservative and say, you do eat out a couple times a week, you could get by with $600 a month, including all of your expenses. So you think, well, how do I make $600 a month? It's easy. You get a part-time job bagging fucking groceries, a part-time job working 25 hours a week. What did you just do at this point? You just saved 25 hours in your week. Back up to this graph, that's how you do this. You see where I'm going with this? If you've now just saved 25 hours in your week, you now have 25 hours that you can put into your goals. You now have 25 hours where you're not thinking about the bullshit job you have. But here's the truth: whether you're making $1 million a year, or whether you're making $15,000 a year, people are always going to have a fucking opinion about you. But most people's opinions are based on the lie that society has sold them to begin with. So they're not even relevant. The top 1% is earning $800,000 a year. And the difference between $800,000 a year and $100,000 a year is astronomical. The difference in lifestyle is huge. The difference in lifestyle between $100,000 a year and $30,000 a year is not shit. It means that you have maybe an extra room in your house. It means that maybe your flat screen TV is a little bit bigger. That's it. There is no difference between these lifestyles. So if you're living like a slave anyway, you might as well go all the fucking way. The only difference is going all the way with it has given you 25 hours a week to actually achieve your goals and dreams to end up right here. That's the only difference. So if people are passing judgment on you, understand this: whether you're making $1 million a year or 30,000 or 25,000, people are always going to have their opinion about you. There's nothing you can do about it. People are always going to have an opinion about you. But if you're living like a slave anyway, you might as well go all the fucking way with it, save your time, and then achieve your goals and dreams to actually maybe have a chance to end up right here at the 1%. We're now going to go into part 3. How to use this gift of freedom that you now have by eliminating your addictions, by cutting down on your expenses, thus not having to work at the job that you hate, thus saving your time. How to use this gift of freedom to accelerate your success. So the first thing that you need to do, and this is like the most important thing to do, is figure out what you love. That's it. Just figure out what you love and take your time with it, because you don't want to start something and then a week later, I don't know if I want to do it or not. Just find what you love, think about it, stick with it. And what's going to happen is over the course of the year of you working on this thing, you're going to develop a plethora of skills that if you do decide a year later that you want to switch up, you can, because you have a bunch of skills that you can now apply to different fields. And let's just use an example. Let's say, when you were 11 years old, you saw your uncle build this chair and you were like, oh, this is beautiful. I love the way he was like using that hand saw and made some dovetail joints or whatever. And you're like, you want to be a carpenter or you want to be a woodworker. Here's how to make a carpentry or woodworking business into an online business. So what you're going to do is figure out what you love, and you don't have to be an expert at it. Although if you are, it gives you a leg up. But if you're not an expert at it, what happens is the process that now becomes your product. So back to woodworking, what you could do is you could contact all the woodworkers in your area and say, hey, now that you have an extra 30 hours to yourself a week to do the things that you love, you say, hey, I'm interested in working for you. I'd be willing to work for you for free. In return, I would like to film the process of me becoming a woodworker. So now you're doing what you love and you're filming it. You're filming the process. And then as you're filming it, at the end of the process, this becomes a video series. This becomes a 20-part video series of how anyone can become a woodworker. You have to stick it through and you have to be able to make money doing woodworking to sell a product that is trustworthy. But that's essentially what you do. You film and you make a website. You can make a back-end community where people are paying you, $20 a month so you can answer any of their woodworking questions. You can sell a course about how to create your own woodworking company. You could sell it for $1,000. And then essentially all you're going to do is make social media about the thing you love, let's just say woodworking again, and you're going to give them free advice like I'm doing in this video. Just be honest with people and give them free advice. And at the end of the video, hey, I've got this thing if you're interested in it. So now you're doing what you love. You have an online business. You're being supported by the thing that you love. And then if you just keep doing this and you keep doing it and you keep building your business, you are going to be at that 1%, the 800,000. And let's say you fall short. Let's say you fall short and you end up making 100,000 a year. Well, guess what? Now you're making $100,000 a year, but at the very least, you're doing something that you love. And I want to end the video on this. Although we all have differing opinions about what success is, I think any reasonable person could agree that a successful life is one where you're waking up doing what you love to do. And that is what you should really strive for. But you're not going to be able to do that if you don't understand how society is trying to trap you, if you don't understand your addictions, if you don't understand all the bullshit that you're spending your money on, like lifestyle type money, and then if you don't have any clear action or clear path about how to navigate or develop a business doing the thing that you love. You have to do these things. I wish the very best for you because society is trying to keep its foot on your neck every single day, and it's very hard out there. But if you do the things in this video, I guarantee your life will improve. On that note, Thanks for watching. And also, if you click right here, you can see how to make an in-video ad for your business similar to mine. Guys, let's be honest. The economy sucks right now. On top of that, you're probably working a job that you don't really like just to pay bills, just to get by. There's no reason today. Anyone today can create an online business doing the things that you love to do. You can literally make money doing the things that you love. If you want to replace your current job with your own solo online business, click the link below and we will teach you how to build your own solo online business. Start getting paid to do the things that you love to do.